So
And it's
yeah.
got cogs, which I hear steampunk people like, right?
Yeah, if
Yeah.
you put a cog on it, it's a
It's
steampunk.
steampunk.
What's
Yeah.
the difference between a cog and a gear? I never really thought to never considered the
Um,
difference.
Branding.
Size of the hole in the center.
Really?
I have
That
no
sounds more
idea.
realistic than
Okay.
mine.
I'm
God,
willing
you
to
said that with
believe
such
that, but-
conviction.
Yeah. Is a cog thicker?
I mean, you hope so,
Cogs are thick.
because cogs gotta like really, really work at it to get the other cogs rolling, and you really want them to be thick cogs when they're doing that.
Yeah.
You know
a
that-
gear sounds like it zooms, gears, they change
Yeah.
all the time. Cogs
Yeah.
are solid.
Yeah.
So if you
Yep. Mhm.
Apparently, yeah,
Like-
literally
Oh.
cogs are hollow-centered.
Oh no.
Hmm. Oh.
My thing was correct and I still got it backwards.
Yeah.
This is on par for me, yes.
Gears are solid. I think
So-
you did say gears were solid. I was like, yeah, gears are solid. Okay. Cogs are the teeth of a gear. What? Huh?
What?
I see. Now I'm losing all.
Like teeth are involved in everything in life, in medicine,
Mhm.
and in
rules
your
everything
filing
around, huh?
cabinets, and definitely in the streets and in the sheets. There's
Mhm.
just teeth everywhere you go. Take care of them. Get some fluoride or something.
Teeth
and
on the
maybe
street, gums in the
brush
sheets.
them.
Now, may I ask, what about sprockets?
What
Team
about
Rocket,
sprocket
isn't it?
speech?
Right? Because we
Sprockets.
all this talk about Cogsworth cause and cogs and then spacely sprockets, and it's like, so what were they actually competing on? How different are the two of them together?
Sprockets
the
are the
part-
little
sprockets where we
tiny
dance.
ones that are only there to fly off like particles. They're
Oh,
the particle effects of your gear machine.
they're
assume-
ablative.
I
Yeah.
assume their fight was a lot like the fight between Blu-rays and HD DVDs, and one just didn't work out.
Okay.
Rip.
Okay.
As yeah, there.
Oh, sprockets drive a chain, but gears mesh together. That just means that they are sprockets. They're just sprockets until they get close enough. In which case they're like, we don't need that chain anymore.
It's
So
like
I'll-
the sort of the meteorite thing. Just-
yeah, right. That's
Yeah.
that's a little cheap. I kind of thought they would mean more than
Well, I
that, but
mean,
yeah.
We got
I
some
suppose-
steampunks in the chat, I see.
Sprocket, 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 gear.
Yeah.
Like, okay, sure.
Yeah, I mean, if you really do want to say, you really want to get people mad at you, you do say things like, "Oh, you put a gear on your hat. Now you're a steampunk."
What's great about
That
this
is not how that works at all.
There's so many people in chat that are saying things that so authoritatively,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I'm pretty sure that we don't have, like, I know we have a lot of nerds in chat. I don't think we have that many mechanical engineers in chat. Like, there can't be that many
Well,
mechanical
I
Then
mean-
engineers in
fighting
chat.
words, be.
I mean, it's
I
2
believe
a.m.
in
Don't they
chat.
all stay up this late?
Maybe they've been up late beating up civvies.
Don't their special
Or
engineering
Aggies.
rings make them like immune to sleep?
Just tuning up their mopeds and watching Desert Bus.
That's a thing, right? They got the special engineering rings.
Yeah, every engineer that grads get, at least in Canada, every engineer that graduates gets an iron ring. I have no idea if that's anywhere else in the world.
Are you serious?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's part of an initiation ceremony that you're basically, because you have to take an oath when you become an engineer, because you're saying that it's like becoming a doctor, because like you build a bridge, so
I'm
it's
not
like
lying about this part.
Yeah.
I'm
The further you get into this, the more uncertain I become.
I know,
and it's
right?
sort of like drop bears where I'm mostly certain they're not real, but I'm not positive.
when doctors, like when
Yeah.
they have to take oaths, right? You take your
Yeah,
oath
and they
first, do
get a
no
ring.
harm. Exactly, right? You have to know all that kind of stuff. So engineers are the same way in that they're basically saying that I'm promised to adhere to a code of conduct, much like a doctor does. It's like, I'm going to ensure that I'm accurate. I'm going to ensure that I take the steps that everything that I build is going to be proper, that I'm going to, concentrate on the things and always do things out of safety, never do things out of like expedience, that kind of idea.
Okay.
You're supposed to take an oath. And then when you've taken that oath, then generally on graduating from university, and then everybody gets an iron ring that's meant to be, this is meant to be a reminder of the oath that you took, and you wear it around and it's iron too, because it's like, I guess it'll develop rust over time, but it's like, it's supposed to remind you of the fact that you took an oath to make sure that bridge you're going to build, you're going to be careful with it and safe with it to make sure that people don't die, because people die when you make bad decisions as an
Yeah.
engineer. A lot of people
Mhm.
can die when you make bad decisions as an engineer.
Now, as for drop bears, I'm pretty sure that's a specific kind of engineer that only works in steel and maybe as a raccoon, or at least 3 raccoons in a lab coat. They
Drop
each get
Bear's
a
one of the
piece
Care
of the
Bears,
ring.
right?
They
that
work
can
on
put
those
together.
suspension bridges so that they can drop down
Yes.
from the suspension
Yeah.
part,
Yes.
right?
Yeah, specifically.
If it can hold the weight of a bear, it can also hold the weight of a car.
Yeah.
That's-
Yeah, that's how we
Mhm,
know.
mhm.
Bears are super dense.
They really are, aren't they? When you think about it, a car is probably a car of similar size might actually be less dense than a bear of a similar size.
It's mostly full of air, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
it depends on how spacious the interior of the bear is, right?
Yeah.
Never actually ridden around
How
in
many
a bear.
seats are in that bear?
Yeah.
Okay, well, if we open the door to a bear and you look inside, I imagine there must be a lot of space because they have to keep a lot in there for hibernation.
Yeah.
Salesperson slaps the top of a bear. You can fit so many people inside this baby.
And the bear just eats the salesperson.
Yes.
Proving
Watch.
the point.
Come on down to Grizzly Man Motors. We got grizzlies.
We've got men. Wait, no, we don't have any men.
No, we're all out of men now. They're all living in the bears. That nice man moved into a bear upstate.
Yeah, because during hibernation time, it's like when the birds go migrating, right? The bears got to walk a distance, like north to get where
Yeah,
it's
but
really
they just
cold,
take a
so that they
car.
sleep much better.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know I sleep better in the cold, so I assume bears do as well.
Yeah, yeah.
I still am fuzzled by the fact that a polar bear is the largest bear. Like, that seems weird to me.
They have to be big.
Because they have to have so much on their body to, I guess, help keep them
Yeah, and
cold
they
or
got
warm.
two different coats of fur, so
They
like
have to be big so that their mass generates enough heat for their surface area to not freeze, right?
I guess.
The
yeah.
smaller you are, the better you are at heat dissipation. And the
Right,
bigger you
yeah.
are, the worse.
Right.
So that's why we have a polar bear that's as big as the sun, and that's why
Or-
it's as hot as the sun.
That's why
Do-
the entire continent of Antarctica is actually a polar bear
Right.
asleep
Yeah,
in hibernation because it's so cold there.
and that's why we don't want people to go there. We don't want you to poke the bear.
Or do the bears just look big because the ice caps are shrinking?
Oh, yeah. The
A
bears are
little,
looking
a
bigger
little
and
bit
bigger.
of both,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, I think this is sort of a nature-nurture problem where the answer is both and.
It's just a forced perspective thing.
Yeah. If you come at it from a camera with an up angle, it definitely looks
the
bigger.
wide angle
And,
lens.
and
just-
how else do you come at a bear at the North Pole except a camera with an up angle, right?
Yeah,
The North Pole is up from us.
Exactly.
So
I feel like we always get like people get the wrong idea about polar bears as well because of not just like Coca-Cola, but also like
Yeah.
because you're like, oh, look at how you see video of a photographer sitting down in Canada's Arctic, filming stuff, and then he like turns and he can see a polar bear and it's kind of like walking towards him and walking around, and then like comes and sits down next to him or walks around, whatever. And I'm like, well, the reason we're seeing that footage is because somebody made it out with that footage. And it's probably the photographer, and he's probably okay.
it's a survival bias thing.
Yeah, exactly. The footage we don't see is where that polar bear tears that person apart. And I'm glad we never see that because I don't want to.
That's why we have a rating system in place.
Yeah.
There's literally a guideline for TV that says no bear pulling apart footage.
Yeah.
No one can know about the North Pole bear
Yeah.
and its hungry appetite because it will come for us all one day with this climate change.
Yeah. Yeah, they're
Okay.
gonna come to us for revenge.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't drown them first with global warming. That's why we're doing this, right?
We'll be long
It's
gone by
hard.
then.
It's
so-
hard. I mean, we
We're melting
focus
the
a
ice
lot.
caps to drown the bears so they don't get us.
We focus a lot on that giant
Good
I
polar
don't
point.
like
bear.
this idea.
But people
team up with
forget
the
about
penguin
the
in South
giant
America.
penguin that makes up the South Pole
Oh, yeah.
and how it just it does like belly flops all the time.
And that's where we get rogue waves from. There's
Yeah,
a giant penguin belly flopping into the water.
Right.
yeah. It's also why you can't find the South Pole. It's always moving.
Yeah, they always talk about, if a butterfly flaps its wings in Brazil, then it'll cause a hurricane in New Zealand.
Mhm.
But nobody talks about the penguin belly flopping into the sea.
Yeah. The giant penguin.
Devastating consequences.
We're watching a good little anime series that involves penguins.
Are we?
Yeah.
When?
Aquatope.
Oh, right.
Yeah, all
Sorry, I
sorts of little
forgot
penguins.
because that anime kind of just 180'd into a different kind of anime
Yep.
in the second season, and so I don't think of it as the same show anymore.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The penguins are very small. They're Cape penguins, so they're only like a foot or two tall or whatever. They're cute though.
I'm trying to guess where where the bottom of this penguin you're gesturing starts, and I'm like,
It was
what,
only
the
about that
floor?
tall.
The floor at your feet?
Like
It's
a
only
child.
about a meter tall, right? A little
How-
penguin.
Yeah, little penguins.
Little penguin. Is that tall? Is that tall? How tall am I again?
Uh.
I've forgotten. I don't see penguins in real life, just like I don't see people. Have all the people turned into penguins? Because if they have, I need to know. Molly,
No?
do you know if there are people out there who've turned into penguins?
I mean, not that I've seen, but I mean, I've seen a lot of Animorphs lately, so my brain would believe anything.
You're right.
Yeah.
You know what I had? I don't think we had. Did we see an Animorph where they turned into a penguin yet? Did that happen?
I can't
I think
It was a
remember anymore.
choice.
It was an
Choice,
option.
You haven't seen
I don't
it.
think
Yeah.
it did.
I
I
really
can't
want to see the
figure
pants
it
just
out.
get baggier and baggier until they
Just
until
the,
they're
the
just
drop crotch. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you held a penguin up, do you think their legs would just kind of fall out the bottom and then you could they'd walk along like the knees would straighten and the legs would just kind of go
If
flump?
we put suspenders
Just
on a
retract.
penguin.
Like Inspector Gadget.
Because penguin legs are underneath there. They're always in a low crouch. They're always kind of
Yeah.
the thing is hey, you got a cigarette, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Hold
no,
on,
that's-
hold on. Oh, these
The
legs-
entire inside of a penguin is just knees. They're just
Yeah.
coiled
Oh
up in
my
it. That's why they're so
goodness.
long.
So I assume it's like an owl, right?
But
That if
they're
you
just-
lift an owl up and they're standing, you can just see giant legs. I'm like, well, if you lift up a penguin, do their legs just straighten out? They're like, oh, thanks, mate. This is. There we go. Yeah,
Oh
perfect.
my-
Thank you for doing that in chat.
Oh my god.
Oh right, I forgot about the birds doing the things.
Yep. We all like owls,
I
right?
didn't
Well,
know
we coulda
owls
just
did
asked.
that.
You
Yeah,
could've
I
asked
know
for
it's
pictures of
real. It's
birds
like
this whole time?
it's like, do you want owls ruined for you? Here,
No,
let
that's
me help.
amazing. They look
No,
so much
owls
more
can
like
never
dinosaurs.
be more ruined for me than turtles. Turtles are the most ruined.
Turtles are ruined?
Are,
Ducks are also pretty bad.
Are turtles full of kneecaps?
No,
What-
they're full
what-
of penis. They're so.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
It's so many different shapes. Really, a penis should only be one shape.
It
Yeah.
has
Penis
to be
shape.
flexible. It's got to be like the PEX tubing to get to the other turtle.
It looks
right?
like something that would grow on the ocean floor, but it's
I
coming
mean,
out the bottom.
yeah,
of
there's a
the
lot of that on the ocean floor
Please
already.
no,
so.
no pictures of this in chat.
So-
Yeah,
e-
no.
evolution has taken some twists and turns, is what you're saying. Much like a duck.
Much
So,
like a duck, yeah.
Like kind of like one of those search your way out of maze puzzles.
Yeah, Hideo Kojima designed the turtle. We can,
I believe that, you know.
yeah.